G'day folks, MBS here. Well, this is a request I'm doing here today. Some fellow contacted me and wanted to know if I could explain what this temperature compensator is all about on the side of a CD Stromberg carburetor. Some Toranas had them fitted and a lot of other models of Strombergs. But so he just wanted an explanation. What does it do and how does it work? So here it is. I've got a chance to do one now. Got a really crappy carburetor to deal with here. It's absolutely stuffed. Everything's missing off it. Big deal, doesn't matter. But this is a pretty important device if it's working properly, yeah? Now the whole idea of this device is to, let's say, lean off the mixture, because when the under bonnet temperature gets really hot, mainly in idling conditions, the fuel in the fuel bowl gets damn hot. Yeah, it could vaporize, but mainly it loses viscosity. The viscosity gets a lot thinner, and that enables the fuel to easily pass the jet more easily, and thereby it richens the mixture up. Okay, so the idea of the compensator is to open up a valve, and we'll show you that in a minute, and it lowers the piston a little bit and leans it back off a little bit, so it's not so rich. Alright, and that's all it does. Okay, now the problem is most of them don't work. Over the years the bimetallic spring that's in there has failed, or someone's bent them and done something like that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's have a bit of a closer look at this. Okay, taking the unit off is pretty easy. 2 screws on the side and it'll come off. And like so. Okay. Now that it's off, I can show you the compensator passage. And it starts here at the air cleaner face, goes down through here, and then goes in down here behind the piston on the vacuum side. Okay, so there is vacuum subjected on this side at most of the time, except under full throttle it'll be pretty weak though. And therefore you need to make sure that there's a washer under here and there's a washer under there. Now this is missing the washer deep down inside there, so it's not going to seal at all. And the other washer has fallen here. That's a bigger washer, and it sits up against the face there. So if those 2 washers are not sealing, this unit will not work, and it will suck air through this hole. Okay, so if you're tuning your triples or even your single and you can feel suction here, here's your problem. Either those 2 gaskets that's underneath or there, or this needle here isn't seating. Okay, now it does a little bit, so I don't think that's sealing properly. So this would probably have a little bit of suction here if we were to fit this carby onto a vehicle, which it's pretty buggered, so we wouldn't be doing that. Alright, so that's the channel and how it works. What happens is, as I said, I think, when this opens, the depression inside the carburetor is slightly less, so the piston drops a little bit and covers the jet orifice a little bit more because the needle is a little bit thicker right at the very top, so it leans it back out. So let's pull this apart, have a look inside. This is a 3D printed cover that he told me he's had made, several of them made up. Okay, and there you have the guts of it. So you have your spring, you've got your adjuster and your fixing point. Alright, now this doesn't come out unless you take that nut off, because that stud is fixed in here. You can see the hexagonal bit of the bolt. It's fixed in there. So we can't pull this apart unless I undo this totally. Now because this has lost a little bit of tension on the spring, and it doesn't look like it's been bent, if I wanted to just get that to seat a little bit better, I would tighten that nut down a little bit, okay, just to get a bit of tension on it and make sure it's actually seating. And that's very, very loose on there and won't be seating, as I said. And that's about all you can do with it, guys. If you've bent this to deactivate it because it was leaking, okay, that's the end of that for you, because you're not going to get it right, all right? You've changed the characteristics of that spring and you're going to find it very hard to get this adjusted and working properly. So never mind. What you can do then is just screw that nut down, seal it off and not have it working, all right? There's not much you can do with that. Unless you can get one of these units from the UK possibly, or a second-hand one that's actually working, then you may be able to fine-tune the temperature compensator by adjusting that nut just here. Okay, so it only has light pressure. It takes a fair bit of heat to flex that spring, but it's a suck it and see. If the vehicle idles and you're feeling suction here and it's not that hot, then you need to tension the spring up a little bit, yeah? All right, that's about all you can do. And as you know, being an owner, you know it gets hot underneath the carburetor when you're trying to adjust the jet here. This one doesn't have a fixed jet, but you know what I mean. With the adjuster nut, you burn your hands trying to adjust it. I mean, if it really gets hot, and especially if you haven't got the heat shield fitted, even then it still gets very, very hot. Does that actually come on? And then you'll notice that you've got vacuum suction on that port. All right, so you may notice a little bit of difference there. And like I said, if these are leaking, you will false the main jet to compensate for that without knowing, and you'll end up setting the jets a little bit richer than what they should be. So there's your tip. Make sure that you're not getting any suction out of that hole when you're adjusting your carburetor. And there you go, pretty easy, eh? Okay, just to recap a few important points. Make sure the gasket at the base, the gasket right at the very bottom of this little length, that they seal properly. And you're not getting vacuum through this port when you're tuning it, because that would indicate this isn't seating. And just make sure it is seating when it's cool like it is now. Make sure it's not flopping around. If it is, just adjust the tension on that little nut just a little bit until it's seated, and then put it back on the car. Try it. Get the engine up to operating temperature, nice and warm. Take it for a drive, bring it back, let it idle for a bit. Now obviously you're going to have the bonnet up when you're checking this, and the temperature will cool down a little bit because it's not all enclosed. So this is actually meant for when the bonnet is shut and you're in traffic and it's a stinking day and it just gets too hot. All right, this compensator valve will open up and lean the mixture off a little bit for you. Okay, catch you in another video.